Now that old Joe is settled down and probably put on his bedrobe and has slipped on his slippers, we can finally properly survey the damage. I mean, all of the action that he's taken since, well, taking office, installed in the office, assumed office, however you want to put it. Fortified the office. I like that one. We'll go ahead with that. Yes, remember when he also said during the debates, the presidential debates that is, that governing through executive order is tantamount to being a dictator. I spiced up his verbiage because we know that Joe can't use anything other than a monosyllabic speech pattern, but 52 executive orders and actions. Not all of them are executive orders, so to be fair, he's only just asking people do things. So he doesn't want to be perceived as being a dictator. Just don't mind the fence that's still around all the Capitol buildings, or the 7,000 National Guardsmen that are still there. Don't mind any of that, but we've already gone through, and we'll take a look at some of the newer ones here, because to be fair, we gotta take a look at some of the new actions, orders, whatever you want to call them. Dictatorial edicts. We already went through all the January 20th ones when he was a busy boy that day. And then on the 21st, he was relatively as busy. 22nd, we covered through most of those. See, we're still in January, and he's still signing up a storm. But starting February 1st, I think that's probably where we left off. But he's put tariffs on aluminum coming in from the United Arab Emirates, which was a part of settling the normalization of relations between the UAE and Israel. But Joe Biden, because he cares so much about peace, he just went ahead and revoked that. That should sit well long term. Memorandum directing FEMA to help with COVID because, hey, if I don't have a plan, I'll just get more people involved in this plan who don't have a concrete point of action to figure things out. So that's retarded. Reversing public school charge rule on immigration. President Biden began reversing President Trump's enforcement of longstanding but ignored policy against immigrants that would become a burden to the state, of course, because he's trying to figure out different ways that he can circumvent the ruling in Texas, which put a stop to his previously signed executive order on the 20th or the 21st, which said, open borders, boys, open them all up, in nicer, more presidential terms, because, it's a return to normalcy, of course. So addressing root cause of migration from Central America, sure. Send more money to shithole countries. Task force to reunite families. How are you going to do that when they're all brought over by drug dealers and coyotes? Expanding refugee program for impact of climate change. That's retarded. Memorandum on revitalizing foreign service. President Biden offered an effective payon to the deep state, praising the remarkable professional and patriots whose expertise has often been sidelined. So sympathetic actors to other countries around the world. Sweet. Justin Trudeau's pussy's probably getting wet over that one. Memorandum restructuring national security because deep state's gonna deep state. And last but not least, of today. 52 is my favorite number. And why does it have to be something so queer? Memorandum promoting LGBTQI. Where's the A and the plus? Rights worldwide. Ugh, that is so soy infused. I feel like farting a rainbow. Emperor Biden offered a global effort to decriminalize homosexuality, an existing policy under President Trump. Oh, the new I is for intersex. How adorable. Let's not forget who was the first openly pro-gay marriage president when he took office. That was President Trump. As you can see, yeah, he hasn't really signed a whole lot of intelligent stuff. He's just been more or less a puppet master in chief, as he's just proven to be so far. We'll see how far that gets him, because these executive orders, actions, fiats, edicts, whatever you want to call them, are rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. Meanwhile, the Alphabet Coalition just perked an ear to that. No, some of the governors are actually taking note of this and being like, okay, 52 executive orders and actions in less than a month seems a little bit, oh God, how do we put it? Tyrannical. Right. We need to go ahead and fortify our own states and our own constituency with a little bit of a backup plan in case this old man just decides that everybody's going to be getting Chia Pet hair plugs in the near future. So South Dakota. Okay, this was drawn up by the Attorney General, not quite Kristi Noem herself, but it would definitely have the glowing endorsement of her. So whenever these challenges happen from different states, it's normally the Attorney General's office, normally with a passing approval from the representative state houses or from the governorship. So we can only assume that she gave a thumbs up, but let's see what they're on about. A legislative proposal in South Dakota's House of Representatives seeks to give the state attorney general the authority to review presidential executive orders and possibly nullify those deemed unconstitutional. All right, I like it. Okay, and that goes for both sides of the aisle. Like the next Republican that potentially maybe, I don't know, could get into office. It'll take some work, but in case they go on a signing spree just like Biden has, and there's some shit that crosses the line to the state constitution or to the United States Constitution, the attorney general can theoretically, this is all theoretically, and this is in the best good faith argument I could possibly present, is to take a look at the executive order, understand if it fits within the parameters of the different constitutions that they'd have to adhere to for the betterment of their population, and understand that there's a difference between being told what to do and following through on that and choosing the right path. I think that those should be open avenues for any and all state attorney generals. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. State Representative Aaron Alward, from Harrisburg District, introduced House Bill 1194, which is described as an act to authorize the review of certain executive orders issued by the President of the United States, as reported by Ben Shapiro's little outlet. The process starts with a review by the Executive Council of the Legislative Research Board, then a referral to the council sent to the State Attorney General and the Governor according to this KELO. Okay, yeah, so it would be a joint decision by the Attorney General and the Governor. That makes sense. That's good. I like that. Once a referral has been made, the Attorney General may examine the order to determine whether the state can seek an exemption or declare it unconstitutional. The proposed bill would also allow the Attorney General to block implementation of any order deemed unconstitutional if the order refers to a pandemic or other public health emergencies. Oh my God, that harkens back to Noam just keeping the doors fucking wide open during this. God, it's coming up on a year-long shit show. So the next time that people want to rain from on high or tell you to wear your mask, bigot, yeah, you ain't gonna have to. Regulation of natural resources. Oh, shouldn't have killed off that Keystone XL pipeline, dickhead. But they have their own pipeline there, the Dakota Access Pipeline. Not quite as big, but come on, natural resources is a fairly significant part of the economy in the Dakotas. The regulation of the agricultural industry, for the exact same reasons, just extrapolated from the oil and gas industry onto the farming industry. The regulation of land use, fair enough. Regulation of the financial sector through the imposition of environmental, social, or governance standards. Yeah, buddy. So they could just tell you to fuck off if they ever want to throw down a carbon tax or try to curtail any sort of man-made greenhouse gases that'll somehow affect everything at a greater rate than what China or India are pumping into the atmosphere. And finally, the regulation of the constitutional right to keep... Oh, my God. Okay, listen, I'm building a short list of places that I'd like to move to in the near future. 5 to 10 year plan. South Dakota quickly becoming on that because they don't want to tread on your Second Amendment rights whatsoever. I'm not too sure what their open carry laws are. Have to look into that. This isn't just a President Joe Biden issue, but rather an overall executive overreach issue. There we go. That we've been experiencing for a long time. Allward said the U.S. Congress has abdicated their duty for a long time in different areas. Yes, they have. They've been too busy trying to impeach their political opponents. This bill is simply setting up a process to nullify acts that would be unconstitutional. When looking at the U.S. Constitution, the president only has the powers that are laid out in Article 2. Yes. Meanwhile, the establishment media has attacked South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem for her handling of the coronavirus, particularly for allowing citizens to enjoy more freedoms and earning a living during the pandemic. Very funny. She refused to impose draconian orders as other governors, such as these two grandma killers, Tom Wolf and Cuomo, who just came out, killed an additional 1,500 people. 1,500 people in long-term care facilities. Oh, man. I don't know how that guy's probably going to win a re-election by 30 points in 2022. Stupid state. Shuttering non-essential businesses and heavily restricting basic activities. Despite the criticism, Noam vowed in January that South Dakota would remain open as the country deals with another wave of coronavirus cases. But fewer and fewer people, not in long-term care facilities, they are the ones who are actually at risk, and those are the ones you should be sheltering and quarantining. But regular people just aren't dropping dead because there's this weird thing called the vaccine and this other weird thing called herd immunity. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's an effective way to vaccinate the entire population, and that's kind of what we're after. Not what Fauci's after. I think that's right here as well. Oh yes, it's on the previous article. Yeah, I just want to finish by citing what the little marionette doll in a white lab coat had to say. We got to get the entire world vaccinated. Oh my god, why don't you go back to doing your AIDS research and infecting patients unknowingly? You fucking creep. But yeah, I don't know if Joe's really going to fight this too hard because I'm sure his old wrists are probably getting sore having to sign and explain what the fuck he has to do every day. But to be fair, it's been 4 days since he signed anything, so he's probably getting an itchy trigger finger, which he's trying to regulate right now. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.